I repeatedly asked Jay Windley about this on the Internet Movie Database forum. My messages contained this section from Aldrin's book, and every time, my question was exactly the same. How can you allege that Sabrell lured Aldrin to the motel pretending to be a Japanese company, when in fact Aldrin explicitly states that he did in fact give an interview to a Japanese production company and merely met up with Sabrell on his way out? I have no idea how many times I asked this question, but every time Jay Windley dodged it like the plague, claiming that he wouldn't answer my question until I answered his questions first, which I did. His questions were basically, how many of the solar flares on the NOAA Comprehensive Flare Index for major flares were proton events? As he knows perfectly well, the CFI measures X-ray data and hydrogen alpha importance data, not proton data. And NOAA's data on proton events only goes back as far as 1976, which is completely worthless to us as the Apollo missions took place well before then. It's like asking someone to establish the weather conditions of 2001 using only the data from 2006 onwards. This is basically Windley's way of dodging the whole issue, asking his opponents for something that he knows no one, and I mean no one, can provide, because such data doesn't exist. Using his reasoning, you can't even prove Hurricane Katrina was devastating. His original claim remains debunked. The records do show that there were major flares during the Apollo days. And X-rays or protons, it's immaterial. Both will hurt you. I answered all his questions and continued with my own regarding Aldrin and Sabrell. Very soon, the Internet Movie Database administrators began deleting my messages, continuing along these lines. Jay Windley told me he would only debate me on a publicly moderated forum. What he really means is, he will only debate me on a forum whose administrators will censor any messages he doesn't want to answer to. In July 2006, Windley stalked me onto Dylan Avery's old Loose Change forum, where I had previously called him out and publicly stated that he was a liar. Windley apologised for my appearance on the forum, probably in the hopes that the regulars would all come crashing down on me like a ton of bricks. It didn't work out that way. Instead, the regulars all saw right through his innocent act. And with no administrator on his side to delete damaging messages from his opponents, Windley promptly retreated back to the Bad Astronomy forums and was never seen posting on Loose Change forums again. Under normal circumstances, I have no problem debating anyone over the moon landings. But I have no intention of engaging in a forum where such censorship runs rampant. Nonetheless, the experience has certainly been revealing. So, if you live in Salt Lake City and come across this guy, remember to ask him this question. Aldrin claims he gave an interview to a bona fide Japanese TV company before bumping into Sabrell. Is he lying, or are you lying? And if you happen to have a copy of Aldrin's book, be sure to carry it with you in case you bump into Windley. That way, you'll be able to shove the paragraph in question in his face. Make sure he knows there is no escape from it. I encourage all of you ApolloHoax.net and Bad Astronomy members to ask Windley along these lines. No, really, I do. Just don't expect a response from him. It would be like asking Phil Plait about Operation Dirty Trick.
At the end of the day, right, look, if you're trying to prove something that's legit, prove something that's real, like if you're trying to prove something that's undeniable, like, say, the Earth being round, you wouldn't have any need to lie about your opponents. Just explain why they're wrong and let it go. All right? You wouldn't need to lie about them. Say they said this, no, they said this, whatever. So they've got all these lies trying to protect the lies of NASA.
You can say what you want about people you disagree with, so long as what you say is honest. When you start lying about your opponents just to make them look bad, all your credibility is lost. Regardless of whether you like or hate conspiracy theorists, you have no need to lie about them. Yet those trying to defend the moon landings frequently do. Let the truth be known. all around the world.
All you need is the rocket experience. What you need is the rocket experience. All you need is the rocket experience.
To go flying into outer space. To see this world as a beautiful place. All mankind, one human race.
I tell a story about my time on the moon now. The sky was black even though the sun shined on. Moonwalking, such a trip, it's so fine when you're walking in the lunar dust. It took us 4 days riding on a rocket to set foot for the very first time. I'm gonna tell you about the meaning of it all. We came in peace for all mankind. Imagine a place above the sky, riding orbits in 90 minutes time. All you need is to come with me. I'll be your guide.
To go flying into outer space. To see this world as a beautiful place. All mankind, one human race.
Are you ready to put on your spacesuit? Strap in for the G-force liftoff. Countdown is getting very close now to the adventure of a lifetime.